Welcome to the legal side of packaging, where we break down the big legal questions and updates in the world of packaging. And if the updates are too upsetting, even I break down. I'm your host, Eric Greenberg, a longtime observer of the legal and regulatory requirements on packaging and packaging businesses. Today we have an update that has implications across the packaging sphere. Plastics-related laws around the world, including those that place requirements on plastic packaging. And they might be getting a big makeover because of a new United Nations treaty. In late February, the United Nations Environmental Assembly adopted a resolution aimed at ending plastic pollution and said it would work toward creating an international legally binding agreement about it by 2024. There have long been state or local or even national environmental laws worldwide that do lots of different things. For example, calling on packaging to be recyclable or to be made of recyclable materials or to be biodegradable or to be made of less stuff than before, or you might be given your choice of those different options. Also, more and more examples of so-called extended producer responsibility laws are placing financial or other burdens on packaging makers or users. Well, this new treaty is concerning, but how much worse can it be than the present? Maybe some standardization of the approaches to plastic waste would end up being helpful. Bans on materials wouldn't be, but provisions for large-scale infrastructure, for example, for recycling, would. Two things are obvious. First, sorry, packaging pals, but packaging is probably always going to be part of the discussion of what to do about solid waste. Packaging makes up about 29% of solid waste. Second, and obviously no one, including packaging makers and users, likes those photos showing plastic waste floating in oceans and waterways. The question is what to do about it, with some wanting to do away with plastic articles themselves as a result, while industry and others want to see better solid waste handling solutions. Well, the crux of this UN group's resolution on March 2nd is a new international effort to end plastic pollution. And if you read the 4-page resolution, you see that the bad news is that a lot of the wording is vague in general. But the good news is that a lot of the wording is vague in general. That is, it isn't certain what kind of measures the ultimate treaty is going to call for and how mandatory or voluntary they will be. Also, there should be ample opportunities for input into the final treaty's provisions over the next 2 years. The advanced copy of the draft resolution that I reviewed emphasizes the importance of including all relevant stakeholders in discussions of the final treaty. Interestingly, as if reading the minds of concerned industry observers, the UN Environment Programme's Executive Director, Inger Andersen, was specifically asked in a Q&A document whether the agreement that comes out of this process would cover the creation of plastics as well as their disposal, and whether the agreement is likely to cover just ocean pollution or all plastic pollution, and whether different types of plastic or ingredients in plastic will be banned or treated differently. And she answered in part that we seek rapid, ambitious, and meaningful global action to curb the scourge of plastic pollution, and this means incorporating different views to arrive at a framing that allows us to meet a range of economic, social, and environment objectives. That sounds flexible, and that could be good news for packaging. Underlying all this is that question of whether plastic pollution represents a problem with plastic as such or with waste handling and personal habits. And here's hoping that rather than making plastics a permanent pariah worldwide, the UN group hears from enough industry advocates to appreciate plastics' many advantages, and that any decisions it makes are well-informed and practical. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to stay on the legal side of packaging.